And it's a very good afternoon here from everyone at Watford FC, bringing you a live stream action today of the third round of the Vitality Women's FA Cup. It's Watford against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and welcome to a slightly overcast Kings Langley. The action today coming from the Orbital Fastener Stadium, just on the Hempstead Road, just outside the village. Of course, we're in the village of Kings Langley today, 21 miles northwest of Westminster, but more importantly, sort of virtually halfway between Watford and Hemel Hempstead, in very much what's now known as the London commuter belt, on the edge of the Chiltern Hills. Kings Langley itself actually finds itself divided between two local government districts, courtesy of the River Gade, which then splits it between part of the borough of Dacorum and to the east of the river, the Three Rivers district. This is, of course, the location of where there was once a palace, the Kings Langley Palace, and the associated Kings Langley Priory. Sadly, very few traces of which survive today. So good afternoon once again. I'm Chris Walker, your commentator today. We will go through the teams and the lineups very shortly, but just give you a little bit more of a history of where we are today, where the weather allows us. The earliest mention of Kings Langley goes back to the manor of Langerlega in the Saxon Charter of 1050. It appears as Langley in the Domesday Book of 1086, and then later was referred to as Langley Regis, which is the Langley of the King. The name itself transfers into English nowadays as Longwood or Clearing. Of course, Kings Langley goes back to Roman times with a villa excavated just south of the village. Of course, we think that the manor that was here at the time was a possession of the Abbey of St Albans, the records of which have long been lost. And I'll say, slight overcast, change that, we've got a little bit of snow coming in. There you go, nothing like things changing right on the button. It's going to make an interesting tie this afternoon. I'm glad I'm wrapped up warm now, but carrying on, there you go, nothing like the weather to throw you off your stride, is it? But of course, we're talking about Kings Langley today. Well, the area of the manor was purchased by Queen Eleanor of Castile, and who's the wife of King Edward I, and Kings Langley Palace was built on the hill to the west of the village with a deer park that extended to the south. Kings Langley Priory, that of the Dominican order, also some remains do survive, was founded next to the palace. The palace itself and the Grand Priory Church fell into disrepair after the dissolution of the monasteries, and very little remains above ground level. The Church of All Saints was built during the 14th century on the site of an earlier church, and that still stands to this day. Kings Langley is also the birthplace of Edmund of Langley, the very first Duke of York. And I'm not sure if he had 10,000 men or not, but he's the fourth surviving son of King Edward III, whose tomb survives in All Saints Church to this day. Now, during a little known fact, during the Second World War, Kings Langley was very much the home to the secret headquarters of the Polish Underground Army, based at Barnes Lodge, just off the Hempstead Road, very much near Rockler's Lane, about nearly half a mile from where we are today. Now, Kings Langley, also known for chocky drinks. That's right, we're talking the Ovaltine factory. The listed factory facade that was designed in the early 1920s by James Albert Bowden is all that's left now of the factory. But it does stand alongside the London to Birmingham railway line, which also now features a housing development. So the front of the building still exists, but behind it is now duplexes, flats and apartments. The former Ovaltine egg farm, which was run alongside the factory, is converted into an energy-efficient offices and is very much one of the new initiatives of green energy. Kings Langley itself appears in a literary sense as well. It appears in The White Rose of Langley, the novel by Emily Sarah Holt, from 1875. It is also mentioned by Mrs. Swab, the housekeeper, in Alan Bennett's 1973 play Habeas Corpus. And in the 2010 book Beautiful Darkness, Olivia Durand, the character, is actually from Kings Langley. But Kings Langley itself, which has also sort of come to prominence recently with the Brit Award winner Griff, Sarah Faith Griffiths, winning the 2021 Rising Star category at the Brit Awards, so a lot expected of her in the next few years. An up-and-coming rising talent, only 20 years of age. It is also the birthplace of two military heroes. Alan Rice Oxley, a lieutenant was a pilot in the First World War, became a flying ace in the very last year of the conflict in 1918, and won a Distinguished Flying Cross after getting 6 victories in the air. Christopher Cox, went a little bit better than that, and he's actually was a recipient of the Victoria Cross. He was a stretcher bearer in the First World War, and in 1917, during an attack at Achetay-le-Grand in France, he actually came out under fire and single-handedly rescued 4 men. And having collected wounded from his own battalion, went back out to help his colleagues from adjoining battalions. On the 2 following days, he then did the similar thing, complete disregard to his own personal safety, which is why he got the Victoria Cross. Luke Donald, professional golfer and former world #1. Rather topical with, I think, the Masters going on at the moment. He lived in Kings Langley and actually attended the Rudolf Steiner School. But we're ending with a heavyweight star for a little cultural bit here, and they don't get much more heavyweight than the world heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua, who attended Kings Langley School. So at full time, who will have come out punching to get themselves into the 3rd round? Who will be just left out for the count in the Vitality Women's FA Cup today? It's Watford against Wolverhampton Wanderers. And of course, quite a few already dropping comments then. Keep the comments and the feedback coming in. Much appreciated. Those of you on the live stream today. Of course, our broadcast is actually brought to you in association today with Barlow Digital, local firm from Kings Langley, involving in print flow. So, yes, and as if by saying the magic words Marlow Digital, the sun comes out. We'll have to try that one again later, I think. But let's have a look at the teams, and we'll start off with the visitors. Wolverhampton Wanderers, who make just one change from the side that needed that penalty shootout victory against Northern Premier Division side Nottingham Forest last weekend. Jamila Palmer comes into the lineup in place of Summer Holmes. And so this is how Dan McNamara has Wolves lining up today. Very much a 3-4-3 formation. So Becca Thomas in goal, a back three of Kelly Darby, Emma Cross and Anna Morfitt. 4 across the middle, anchored in the middle, of course, then the central midfield by captain Anna Price and Tammy George. Out on the left should be Larry Walker and Nia Edwards on the right. Jamila Palmer, as we said, will probably just fit in just between that front 4 and the front, so that middle 4 and the front 2. And it is a bit of a firepower up front. Alicia Miller and Jade Cross, who between them this season have scored 17 goals. A lot put in on Jade Cross. 13 strikes this season, and in the 2 previous seasons, nearly 50 goals. So a very tricky customer for Watford to deal with today. On the bench for Wolves are goalkeeper Millie Connard, Katie Johnson, Lauren Riley, Orla Condon, Sophia Perezo, Katie Evans, Lindsay Glover, Jen Anslow and Amy Dickon. So let's have a look now at the Golden Girls. We're looking at Clint Lancaster's side, who are forced to just make one change from the team, but 1-3-1 with that perfect hat-trick from Rosie Committer last weekend. Helen Ward is away on international duty, so her place in the starting lineup in the fulcrum of attack falls to Leggy herself, Katie O'Leary, and this will be a good test today. Adi Fatuga Dada captains the side, so this is of course how Watford will go. Chrissy Wiggins in goal, a back 4, Araya Vise on the left, Leanne Bell on the right with Anne Mivald and Kat Huggins, beg your pardon, in the middle. 3 across central midfield from left to right, Emma Beckett, Megan Chandler and Francesca Ali. And then a very pacey and, pardon the pun, leggy attack with Rosie Comita on the left wing, Adi Fatuga Dada on the right and O'Leary playing through the middle, which should pose the visitors quite a few problems and quandaries today. On the bench, there's 7 players named. Of course, you can name a maximum of 9 in the FA Cup these days, and you can use 5 of those. But for Watford, they do go with goalkeeper Katie McLean. Also on the bench, Alicia Stoko-Down, Holly Holt, Renelle Humes, Anaya Harney, Gemma Biggerdike and Georgie Lewin. Our referee today is Stacey Felix, Northamptonshire FA, and assistants Dee Carney and Jay Scott. And just to remind you, today before kick-off, we will be taking the knee, and of course there will be a minute's silence as well in memory of His Royal Highness Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. So as the captains have been called to the centre circle, Watford in their familiar golden shirts with black sleeves, Black frontage, black shorts and black socks. Wolves, of course, can't wear their familiar old gold shirts today, so they're in quite an interesting one that I think someone just thrown together. It looks like a mottled or spattered turquoise effect. You'll see it very shortly with white shorts and white socks. I'm no fashionista, as we all know. But again, the prize for the victors today is a home tie next weekend against Championship side Blackburn Rovers. Obviously, Clint Lancaster all on his side to get to a better start than they did last weekend when they conceded the opening goal. Obviously, one step separates these two sides. Wolverhampton Wanderers in the FA Women's National League Division 1 Midlands. So they're one step, they're in the fourth tier of women's football in England, up against that third tier Watford. But Watford won't be taking that for granted whatsoever, as of course Wolves scalped third tier side Nottingham Forest last weekend. Needed extra time with penalties, and just to remind you, of course, if it's level after a 90, we will have 30 minutes of extra time. Should the score still be level after that, then it will be the dreaded lottery of penalty kicks. Watford in their huddle, and both captains assemble in the centre. It's fist bumps all round. Of course, we're in the era of COVID football. Anna Price, the Wolves skipper, and added to Watford. Now Leanne Bell just over the halfway line, finding Francesca Ali. That's a Bell again, who's passed a little bit timid and picked up by Jamila Palmer. And of course, a strong challenge there from Emma Beckett. That's just to let Jay Cross know that she's there. We heard and felt that from up here. Yeah. So apologies, I think there may have been a few little gremlins that got in. I think that's the snow for you from earlier. So apologies if you did lose a little bit of a loss of sound and vision, but you haven't missed any goals. 0-0, coming up to nearly 7 minutes played here at the Orbital Fastener Stadium in Kings Langley. It's FA Cup, Women's FA Cup, third round. And of course, everyone with their eyes on the prize, that is a home tie next Sunday against Blackburn Rovers. There's Kamita on the left wing. We'll just eventually finding that Kay O'Leary. Ali now teeing in, the captain for Tugadada, but the flag's up on the far side. In Carney's flank, very quick up there. And that'll just be a little warning to Dan McNamara's side of the pace that is ready to be unleashed. Watford win that first in the air through Chandler. And Clinton Lancaster just urging his side to relax. Of course, this time last weekend, Watford were 1-0 down. And also came back with a heck of a reply in the second half from Rosie Kamita with that perfect hat-trick. It is even Stevens at the moment. Kamita again. Oh, a cheeky little chip. Finding Beckett now to Chandler again. A little hesitancy there from Fran Ali. Well, Watford very well. I thought they rescued the situation. A little blunder at the back here is letting Jay cross for the opener into an empty net. A total mix-up at the back there for Watford. And unfortunately, add 50 seconds from last weekend, and Watford are trailing again. Jay Cross with a 14th goal of the season. We'll just see there's a little slack passing. Wiggins had no choice but to come off the line and try and close down Cross. Lost the challenge. And Jay Cross, very experienced predator in front of goal, has given Wolves an early lead here in Kings Langley. But the Wolves bench actually saying they can do better, but say Jay Cross strong in that, challenging to see and having an easy effort on goal. So Watford, if they are to face Blackburn next weekend, are going to have to come from behind for the second Sunday in a row. And it seems to be a little tug there on Francesco Ali in front of the referee. That play continues. Harry Darby having to slide the ball into touch on the playing surface again. Looking in very fine fettle here at the Orbital Farston Stadium, home of Kings Langley Football Club. We'll be playing the third tier for non-league pyramids. But not the start that Clint Lancaster would have wanted his side to make. Maybe a few nerves, a few butterflies around, of course, at Wolves. Scout Nottingham Forest from a level above them last weekend. 2-2 draw after extra time, and they won 6-5 on penalties. But Watford just need to calm things and regain their composure. And more importantly, more significantly, not concede a second. Now Nivald playing the ball through into central midfield. And Ali with a nice little turn there, finding O'Leary. Again, an attempted little tug on the shirt there from Anna Price. So as our attempted tug not picked up, that little lunge was. So free kick to Wolves. That's inside Watford territory. A whole gaggle of players on the edge of the penalty area as this is lofted in. Hands up in the air. Shout from the keeper. And my advice felt she'd been chopped across the front there, but referee doesn't give it, and the ball, well, that's on first impression, it looked like it might have been played into the arm, but the referee, Stacey Fullerton, trying to get the game flowing, and of course the assistants, Trey Scott on this near side, Dane Carney on the far side. Short goal kick quickly taken for Watford. Trailing by a goal to nil. All very nearly deja vu in timeline, only 50 seconds difference from last weekend's start. Of course, Wolves at the time of the league being curtailed have won all 6 of their matches this season. In Division 1 Midlands, 37 goals they'd scored. They'd only conceded 3 times in the league. Of course, they've had quite a few bites of FA Cup action this season, coming in at the extra preliminary rounds and being overcoming the likes of Sutton Coldfield Town, Long Eaton United and Stourbridge before last week's heroics against Nottingham Forest. But Watford here looking to get back onto even terms. Trying to Jay Cross's 9th minute strike. Ball into the Wolves area, it's cleared. Ball spinning away. On the air and kept in, very nearly kept in play there. Revives tried their best on that occasion. And my old friend Yardage coming into play. Stacey Fullock's on the mark here, making sure the Wolves don't take their throwing too far forward. The refs keeping an eye on things, quite literally there. With Tammy George getting very closely acquainted with the Kings Langley turf. And the referee just standing with authority there, just asking Katie O'Leary to retreat the full 10 yards. As Anna Morfitt with his free kick for the visitors. Swinging high into Watford penalty area. And another goal has just cleared and clawed away from the foot of the far post there from Chrissy Wiggins. Well, the flag up it anyway, but you'll see this again, the bounce of the keeper, just scrambling there, and I think that just got to come off the post as well. Very, very anxious moment at the back for Watford. So not wanting to state the blooming obvious, the last thing they need to do is concede a second, having got off to a very inauspicious start. We have an under-hit back pass that it's more or less sold Chrissy Wiggins up the river. Jay Cross not needing a second invitation on that occasion, but it's just the one goal in it so far as Fatugadada gets the ball wide. The captain for the day. It's making their way towards the penalty area. Fatugadada still on the ball, looking for support. There's Leanne Bell, nice cross into the box. There's Kamita, the row of eyes. The cross charged down for a throw-in. It's over 16 and a quarter minutes played. Watford 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. It's third round day of the Women's FA Cup, sponsored by Vitality this season. And of course, our broadcast today, the live stream, brought to you in association with Kings Langley's firm in the printing industry, Milo Digital. That is a corner, I beg your pardon, and that's lofted in. The keeper pushing that away, Becca Thomas. And a gasp of angst there from Alicia Miller trying to, with a clearance, and sort of sliced and shanked that one into touch. Not quite the full-on eggs and bacon with a slice. But Wolves with their noses in front on 9 minutes. Of course, the game being played behind closed doors, so you will hear a lot of what's going on the pitch. Nivald invites a bit of work to do there. And a straight pass intercepted by Tammy George. Watford trying to close Wolves down. And they've robbed the ball in the middle. Nice pass there from Ali, trying to set off Fatugadada, whose first touch a little bit too close to the defender. But Watford stayed in possession until that moment. Of course, it's not the warmest of conditions today. In stark contrast with the sunshine last weekend. But one thing that both these sides have got in their favour and in their locker now is they've had more training sessions after last weekend's exertions. Of course, Wolves needed penalties to get through to this stage. Watford, slightly more convincing and a little bit more of a canter from Kamita last weekend. But the hosts are, as in last weekend, trailing by a goal to nil. Jade Cross ultimately making the most of an opportunity with an under-hit back pass, which she latched onto. Nivald at the back, and again another under-hit pass, and Wolves coming in. There's Palmer spinning around in the penalty area. Shot blocked and now cross again, straight to the keeper. Wiggins getting her body, saw that in plenty of time. Got a body behind the ball there. There is a bit of a breeze around the Orbital Faster Stadium here in Kings Langley this afternoon as well. That'll be a bit of a factor to how diagonal balls are played. That's a lovely ball in, playing Kamita. Puts the ball across the face of goal. But Tugadada just unable to reach it on that occasion. So 20 minutes play, so into the last 25 minutes of the first half. Watford trailing Wolves by a goal to nil. And the coaching staff for Wolves just been reminded by Jay Scott under us, the match official, to stay within the technical area as well. And there seems to be about three or four people standing up in the technical area. I mean, that totally it flies in the face of a convention. I thought it used to be, I thought it was two. I thought it was two, but who'd be a match official these days, eh? Whereas Watford just have the sole standee, and that's Clint Lancaster. And the Sunshiners at Wolves now break in again. And win a corner. Watford will just be mindful that Kelly Derby has come up from the back here for Wolves as the corner's delivered in. Initial header though, not a million miles away from Wigan's goal, but no further damage done to the scoreline. Miranda Price, so Watford, what have they got here? Eisen again. Jay Cross sitting right on the shoulders of the defenders, and I think Watford have got to be careful, but they don't commit harry-kiri here and give Cross another opportunity. But whilst it is 1-0, there is always hope. As Watford, I say, perfect example last weekend. Watford were trailing 1-0 at a break and a perfect response after the interval. We said that perfect hat-trick. I've caught up in the excitement last weekend, saw the first header and actually realised that Roger Kamita, a header, a left foot strike and then a right foot strike, a perfect hat-trick for a perfect comeback. And Watford will need another one of those this afternoon if they are to face Blackburn next weekend. It's Wolves in the box seat right now, courtesy of Jay Cross's effort. After 9 minutes, O'Leary just nibbled there. Referee spotted that right in front of Stacey Fullix. A nice lofted ball in there from Emma Beckett, but Fatigadado just unable to control it. But Watford still in possession. There's Ali in the penalty area. Nice high ball into the box. Advisor left back. So Beckett jinking away through the crossing across the face of goal and can head it away, but only as far as Megan Chandler. Oh, the rasping shot, just dipping over the crossbar there. You just see now again, space and time for Chandler. If that had been maybe another 5-10 yards further back, would have been a total different story for Becca Thomas in the Wolves goalmouth. Goal kick just over the halfway line, one in the air by George, but the second ball go by Watford. Huggins finding Mivald at the back. The German-born defender, Mivald. Has just been hassled there by Sammy George, and another squeaky sort of back pass there from Watford. They are just Slightly under hit this afternoon. Watford clear the lines and Stacey Phillips just having a word with it. Tammy George with a challenge on that. And Mivard at the back. So Watford get the chance to push players forward. So Chrissy Wiggins with Yagney's a choice of what do you do, and I'm not quite sure that might have been the right decision there. Yagney's a choice. Do you go for do you punt it upfield? Do you send it out to your left back or your right back? And in the end, Bobby caught up between the rock and a hard place and puts it into touch. Maybe a few nerves being exhibited by Watford's shot stopper today. Palmer wins another corner for Wolves. It's under 20 minutes to half time here at Kings Lane, leads up Walsall Fastener Stadium. Watford trailing Wolves by 1-0. As one of the Watford coaching team, Arman Kavaka, just imparting a few pearls of wisdom to the defenders from this corner delivered in. Straight into Wiggins though, takes a little tumble but holds on to that ball firmly. That's for a little roll out. What's Leanne Bell now? It's a little bit further forward on the right hand side. Now linking up with Fatugadada. Been at the club 6 years since joining from Arsenal. And as I said, he is the longest serving member of this Watford squad. There's a few little frustrations seem to be creeping into some of Watford's play there. I think Emma Beckett not totally happy. And Beckett wins a header in the air. And again, the ball just hoofed up there by Anna Price, the Wolves skipper. Beckett out wide to the right byline now for Tugadada. Stays on the feet and wins a throw in. Well, I think in the early stages Watford have struggled to settle, and again it's just a few little frustrations are creeping into the play there. No one likes to fall behind to an early goal, and especially in the manner of which that goal was conceded. But it is cup football, anything can happen. There's a chance for Rosie Kamita. That's a throw in for Watford. Beckett in control, lovely little turn there. Oh, a Cruyff-esque and across the face of the air, and here's at Leanne Bell just outside the penalty area. The shot charged down. Bell again on the follow-up. Wolves clear the danger. It's a break on the left now with Larry Walker. Fatugadada in back there to try and halt proceedings. There's Wolves coming in again. And Watford have to concede the corner. Interesting for this corner that Jay Cross, the centre forward for Wolves, has actually dropped back into a covering defensive role with Emma Cross at the back. So Cross at the back, teasing across Watford's goalmouth. And it's struck the corner flag, and it's actually stayed in play. I think everyone thought that was going to go into touch. Watford now trying to build up from the back. There's Huggins on the wall for Watford. This turns again under pressure from Cross. There's Chandler helping out in the back now. And just over the half-hour mark here at Kings Langley. Watford trailing Wolves by a 1-0. Jay Cross flashing onto a under-hit back pass. And won the battle with Wiggins, the keeper, on that occasion, and did put it in the back of the net. But Watford now got bags of pace at their disposal, and here's for Tugadada with a dangerous cross in, but played too close to the keeper at the near post. Beck Thomas takes it. Beck Thomas, who's picked up 2 clean sheets in the FA Cup this season, out of the 3 cup appearances for Wolves. He's going to be a worthy adversary today for Watford. Just spreading the ball across that back line there, just maybe feeling their way into the game a bit more after what was an unsettled start. You just have to watch Jay Crosso, very experienced campaigner for the visitors. Ball played the touch on the far side, and little touch there for the photographer. I suppose it makes a change makes a change from the commentator being peppered with footballs. But here come Wolves through central midfield again. Palmer is charged down and robbed in the middle. Leanne Bell, and Gaffman just hobbling away there, Leanne Bell, from that challenge. There were appeals from the Watford players. Or a free kick, and Leanne Bell is struggling there. The referee just leaning over. That's Stacey Fullix today. And this is not a good sign for Watford. Maybe more of a precaution though, with the physio just coming on. So just inside the last 12 minutes or so of his first half, Wolves with the upper hand on the scoreline, leading by a 0-0. But we know what happened last weekend when Watford were trailing by a 0-0. And so we've had sunshine, cloud and snow. Is it going to be a case of maybe lightning striking twice? We get underway, but George in midfield for Wolves. Like it's sliding in. Now Walker on the right-hand side, just cutting into the box. Still Walker on the ball for Wolves. Not for much longer there. And Wolves' forward department very much on the pressing game, trying to force errors out of the Watford defence. Meewald coming forward over the halfway line. Shrugs off a marker with quite considerable ease there. And rides over a challenge, and the referee said, well, we all heard that and felt it. Free kick to Watford. So Meewald and Bell up from the back on the edge of the penalty area with his free kick. Wolves wall just being positioned exactly where the referee wants it. Beckett with the delivery. And straight to the keeper who falls forward onto it, Becca Thomas. But snatches at that kick and caught the top of the ball there. And Watford with possession. But Meewald being closed down by Cross. Meewald again. Riding over the challenger Palmer. And launching the ball forward, playing over the top. But advantage. Well, Watford had the ball coming forward and were in an attacking position. And referees pulled it back, obviously with a late challenge out on Meewald. But the Watford players understandably not happy with that decision. Immediately, Dan McNamara calling his team over to the near side touchline. Sammy George becomes the first player to go into Stacey Fullock's book this afternoon. Yellow card from the midfielder for that challenge. No real necessity to have done that whatsoever. Obviously Watford more aggrieved than Adi Fatugadada. I think just in conversation with Stacey Fullock's the referee. Maybe going, maybe just ushering on one word, maybe advantage. But end of the day, the referee's decision is what goes. And whether you like them or not, the decisions, you've got to respect them. But that is not going to do anything for the tension levels and the blood pressure levels in Hertfordshire this afternoon. And after running repairs, Sam Meewald is deemed able to continue. And before play can get underway, very nearly having a case of a multi-ball here in the FA Cup this afternoon. The offending article just knocked into touch, and now Watford can take their free kick. Beckett again. Looking to maybe send this long. O'Leary looking for this one, but bad pass, finding a bit of space for Roy of Eyes on the left-hand side. Nice chip into the box, up towards O'Leary. Just evades her forward into the clutches of Becca Thomas. Katie O'Leary, of course, in the starting lineup in that attacking role up front today, in the absence of Helen Ward, club captain, who's on international duty with Wales. Here's Kamita. Beckett. On Invise. We're going into the last 5 minutes of the opening half. As I would imagine as well, quite a bit of time to add on for injury treatment. Leanne Bell and Mivald in the walls today for Watford. It's for Tugadada. That's wrong foot in the marker. Pass to Ali. That's for Tugadada again. And cheeky little layoff here. No, Watford with an opportunity. A shot to a nice little touch. Oh, what an equaliser there from O'Leary. And Watford are level. You see that again. The Fatuga Dada, nice little pass. A cheeky little layoff there from Beckett. Pass into the penalty area from Kamita. To provide when there's a shot in there. And O'Leary thumping that one past Thomas into the back of the net. Watford 1, Wolves 1. So the player who's nicknamed Leggy, definitely using those long limbs to perfect effect there. Rosie Kamita, that's encouraging the teammates as well. Watford all square now. With O'Leary's 6th of the season in all competitions. But Watford haven't got back onto even terms, will not want to concede a second before half time. And Jay Cross has given Watford a few anxious and nervous moments in his first half. But here's O'Leary, Watford with a bit more confidence now, having got on the score sheet. And commit to the pass, just a little bit too heavy there for the winger would have liked. But that was excellent finishing from O'Leary. And that strike for O'Leary, meaning that Becca Thomas in the Wolves goal has seen a clean sheet bonus in the FA Cup gone in the last 2 rounds. Having had a couple of clean sheets in the earlier qualifying rounds. But one apiece here in Hertfordshire. The prize, as well as quite a little bit of cash for winning the 3rd round tie, is a home fixture next weekend against Championship side Blackburn Rovers. So Wolves try and clear. Well, a great clearance hit for one first time by Anne Valls. Well, again, maybe felt the glimpsest and the faintest of her hands on the shoulder. Oh, Beckett in midfield. Thumps that one long. And inside the last 90 seconds of the opening 45 minutes, of course it will be, should be a bit of time to add on. As Watford maybe a little timid in that challenge at the back, and here comes Miller in the right side of the penalty area. Ball across the face of the box, and here's a chance for George. Oh, strikes the crossbar! And Watford's good work, very nearly undone there. Cross sliding in, further contacting Tammy George here with a stinging strike, rattling the woodwork. Wolves again. This time they're shooting sat-nav a little bit more off target. Just a reminder again, the live stream brought to you in association with Marlow Digital of Kings Langley this afternoon. Eddie Darby with a throw-in for Wolves up this right flank as we now enter into time added on at the end of the first half. George Oak finding Naira Edwards. The ball needed breaking for Wolves and Larry Walker. And the referee going, no dice. No Tom Daly's today. There's Fatuga Dada on the counter attack, being pulled back there, and this has got to be a card. And Naira Edwards trying to run away from that one quickly and get realising that danger had been done. No, that's actually Jay Cross, I beg your pardon. And interestingly, that one of the Wolves coaches, I think it's that McNamara, has come well out of his technical area to remonstrate with the match official on this near side. There was Naira Edwards in the book after all. Into the second minute of time added on, the end of the first half. Watford 1, Wolves 1. Beckett closing in, and that is the half-time whistle here at the Orbital Faster Stadium in Kings Langley. Watford 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Wolves taking an early lead on 9 minutes when Jay Cross latched on to an under-hit back pass. Chrissy Wiggins came off the line, tried to close the angle, tried to close the forward down. Lost that little battle. Lost the exchange of end of Jade Cross, able to slot the ball calmly and coolly into an empty net. But it is even terms at the break, and courtesy of a stunning Katie O'Leary strike 4 minutes from the interval. After good work on the right wing from Ali Fatuga Dada, Fran Ali and Emma Beckett. And so once again, thank you for everyone watching in on the live stream. Quite a few of you listening in today, listening and watching in, of course. But it is one apiece here. This game very much on the balance, on the knife edge. Who will progress to the fourth round and face Blackburn next weekend? We will have the second half for you very shortly. Of course, I think there'll be a few highlights for you at the interval. There's a throw-in. Vy's now finding O'Leary in the penalty area for Watford. Beckett's in there as well. A shot in there. Oh, flashing across the face of the goal there. Well, Watford very well before they rescue the situation. A little blunder on the back here is letting Jay Cross for the opener into an empty net. A free kick for the visitors. Swinging high into Watford penalty area. And another goal has just cleared and clawed away. Around in the penalty area. Shot blocked and now cross again, straight to the keeper. Wiggins getting her body, saw that him jinking away through the crossing across the face of goal and getting headed away, but only as far as Megan Chandler. Oh, the rasping shot, just dipping over the crossbar there. And cheeky little layoff here, and no Watford with an opportunity. A shot to the nice little touch. Oh, the equaliser there! Challenge at the back, and here comes Miller in the right side of the penalty area. Ball across the face of the box, and here's a chance for George. Oh, strikes the crossbar! There's a throw-in. Vy's now finding O'Leary in the penalty area for Watford. Beckett's in there as well. A shot in there. Oh, flashing across the face of the goal there. Well, Watford very well before they rescue the situation. A little blunder on the back here is letting Jay Cross for the opener into an empty net. A free kick for the visitors. Swinging high into Watford penalty area. And another goal has just cleared and clawed away. Around in the penalty area. Shot blocked and now cross again, straight to the keeper. Wiggins getting her body, saw that him jinking away through the crossing across the face of goal and getting headed away, but only as far as Megan Chandler. Oh, the rasping shot, just dipping over the crossbar there. And cheeky little layoff here, and Watford with an opportunity. A shot and a nice little touch. Oh, an equaliser there! Challenge at the back, and here comes Miller in the right side of the penalty area. Ball across the face of the box, and here's a chance for George. Oh, strikes the crossbar! There's a throw in. Vy's now finding O'Leary in the penalty area for Watford. Beckett's in there as well. A shot, and oh, flashing across the face of the goal there. Well, Watford very well. I thought they rescued the situation. A little blunder on the back here is letting Jay cross for the opener into an empty net. A free kick for the visitors. Swinging high into Watford penalty area. And another goal has just cleared and clawed away. Around in the penalty area. Shot blocked and now cross again, straight to the keeper. Wiggins getting her body sort of at him, jinking away through the crossing across the face of goal and getting headed away, but only as far as that. Megan Chandler. Oh, the rasping shot, just dipping over the crossbar there. And cheeky little layoff here, and Watford with an opportunity. A shot and a nice little touch. Oh, an equaliser there! Challenge at the back, and here comes Miller in the right side of the penalty area. Ball across the face of the box, and here's a chance for George. Oh, strikes the crossbar! There's a throw in. Vy's now finding O'Leary in the penalty area for Watford. Beckett's in there as well. A shot, and oh, flashing across the face of the goal there. Well, Watford very well. I thought they rescued the situation. A little blunder on the back here is letting Jay cross for the opener into an empty net. A free kick for the visitors. Swinging high into Watford penalty area. And another goal has just cleared and clawed away. Around in the penalty area. Shot blocked and now cross again, straight to the keeper. Wiggins getting her body sort of at him, jinking away through the crossing across the face of goal and getting headed away, but only as far as that. Megan Chandler. Oh, the rasping shot, just dipping over the crossbar there. And cheeky little layoff here, and Watford with an opportunity. A shot and a nice little touch. Oh, an equaliser there! Challenge at the back, and here comes Miller in the right side of the penalty area. Ball across the face of the box, and here's a chance for George. Oh, strikes the crossbar! And welcome back, everyone, with your half-time. But who is going to get the frosty brush off? Wolves get us underway for the second half. Spinning ball immediately, putting Huggins under a little bit of pressure. And Jay Cross, who scored the opener in 9 minutes, has been a thorn in Watford's side in the first half. I can't see any, not aware of any changes at half time. So those of you who may have missed the lineups, obviously Wolves with Beck Thomas in goal, back three of Kelly Darby, Emma Cross and Anna Morfitt, four across midfield, Larry Walker, Sammy George, Captain Anna Price and Nia Edwards, with Jamila Palmer playing just behind the front two, and Alicia Miller and Jade Cross. There's a bit of flexibility in that forward three for Dan McNamara's side. For Watford, Chrissy Wiggins in goal, with eyes on the left, Leanne Bell on the right, with Kat Huggins and Anne Newald, the centre-backs today. Three across midfield, from left to right, Emma Beckett, Megan Chandler and Francesca Ali. And of course, Rosie Cometa on the left wing. Adi Fatuga-Dada is captain today on the right, with Katie O'Leary, a player they know simply as Leggy, playing up front in the absence today of Helen Ward, who's on international duty with Wales. So one apiece. It's into the early stages of this second half. Remind you, of course, that if it is level after 90 minutes, we do go into extra time. Should the score still be level after that, it is a penalty shootout. Well, that would be required, and Wolves needed that to get through past Nottingham Forest last weekend. Farmer, the ball back to Wiggins. Strong clearance there and a bit of backspin there, a little flick on from O'Leary. Watford who very much grew into the game, but they've got to watch out here. Dangerous cross with a shot straight into the keeper though. Wiggins stood her ground. Again, just caught the top of the ball, got a bit of a spin on that one. Beckett brings it down to Ali. A little drag back there from the former Leyton Orient player. And Rosie Cometa clattered straight from behind by Kelly Darby. Wolves saw two of their players booked in the first half, Nia Edwards and Tammy George. The sun has come back out again here in Hertfordshire. Watford with a free kick into the Wolves penalty area. They were just unable to get on the end of that one. And a touch there for Sammy George, who managed to get that actually unopposed and threads it through to Nia Edwards. That's to George again. To Walker. A good tracking back there from Leanne Bell. Meeval back across the penalty area. Watford just taking up a little bit of early pressure at the start of this second half. Fatuga-Dada up the right flank, finding O'Leary. Shouldered out from Emma Cross. Now Beckett, and finding a lot of space there. Of eyes into the... Good work there from Bell. Watford, well, Leanne Bell felt, if anything, the play was obstructing her. Not all the decisions today from Stacey Phillips go. Emma Beckett just having her two-pen affair with the referee. Not always a sensible thing to do. The two in the wall here for Watford, and wonder what Fran Ali and Fatuga-Dada can offer here, some sort of resistance, and they've got themselves in position. They're just now being paced back by Stacey Phillips, our match referee. Stacey Phillips, a regular around the Cambridgeshire FAC now with Northamptonshire FA. Husband Richard, also a qualified referee. There's a free kick drilled low into the Watford box and stabbed in first time. Oh my word, what a strike there from Wolves. Hit on the volley past the stunned Chrissy Wiggins. And that was Kelly Darby. in behind and literally larruping that ball past Chrissy Wiggins, and Wolves have retaken the lead. There's just over 7 minutes gone of the second half. Watford 1, Wolves 2. And Watford, they've done it once, they've got to do it again to get back onto an even keel. And no matter how frustrated you might be as a player, it is very much fight, 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 roll your sleeves up as Watford get us underway from a restart. And Fatigadada there is tracking back. Not winning that ball, but just looking a little bit uncomfortable there. We do seem to be experiencing a few technical problems. I think we're now back up again. Apologies that, but the Gremlins seem to have got in from somewhere today. In the meantime, and Miveld is struggling.
Skip to the goal.
Yeah, I'm just seeing that goal again. And well, Miveld is not going to be able to continue here. There's a signal from the physio for Watford is that she's going to have to leave the field of play. I think there's a bit of concern. Is there a bit of concern there? Watford currently with 11, but Miveld's going to be more or less a passenger. I think Clinton Lancaster just having a look to see whether indeed the defender can continue. And substitution for Wolves. Larry Walker being the player to be withdrawn, be replaced by Katie Johnson. First change of the afternoon for the visitors. Of course, you can name up to 9 players on your bench in the Women's FA Cup this season. You can actually play 5. We're originally told number 17 coming on, but it's actually, we overheard, but it's actually Katie Evans who's actually been brought on. So we're overhearing enough information from Dan McNamara. Maybe it's just a bit of a smoke screen, but Wolves with their first change. One of the Kates is on, but Wolves leading by 2-1. Now Jay Cross. Ball play back into midfield now. Anna Price, the skipper. Fran Ali in close proximity. And 10 minutes gone in the second half, and Watford is coming forward. And there's Ali Fatugadada. Gets past one challenge, drifting out wide on this right-hand side. O'Leary's made a run in the middle. Still Fatugadada being held up, stood up by the defender. Nice little spin there from the Watford captain. And then Leanne Bell, that's Mivald, who seems to have recovered a little bit from that early injury worry. Here's Beckett. With a long ball, and that's played a bit too central, a bit too down the middle for the Irish internationals' liking. And just with a break in play, obviously Clinton Lancaster just checking around Mivald that she is okay to continue. So Thomas just getting out of the air, launches the ball forward, deep into Watford's half. And Fran Ali just caught there. Little foot left in there. Mai Evans. Emma Beckett on the free kick again. And sending that long and finding that rear visor. Nice cross into the box. And now does it fall to Fran Ali? Little drag back there. But it doesn't quite work. And again, Chandler unable to make the most of the situation. Akanita in midfield to Ali. Evans sending it over the top of the Watford defence for Wiggins. gathers it safely, just tracking back and judging the pace of the ball on that occasion. Watford 1, Wolves 2 in this third round of the Vitality Women's FA Cup. Nice little prize winners check for this round as well as the opportunity, the chance to meet Blackburn Rovers at home next weekend for the winner of this tie, which is far from settled. It's definitely far from over. Now Fatuga Daga. I advise Watford need to be a bit more clinical here, a bit more predatory. Once again, a big thank you for all of you watching in today. Of course, this is the first time these two clubs have met each other. However, Wolves, top of Division 1 Midlands, they are in the step below Watford, but say they scalped Nottingham Forest last weekend. Can be quite a physical side at times. Watford with a free kick. Now here's Valves. Ball one in the air by Morfitt. Now O'Leary. And he sends up for Tugadada up the right hand side. Fran Alley's in the middle and Alley into the penalty area. Oh, was that a little shove there? But the flag up anyway. Nulls that as an argument. On first impression, there seemed to be like a little jolt forward there from the former Leyton Orient midfielder, Francesco Alley. Watford, I mean, it looks like they are probably about to make their first change of the afternoon. Muval just shielding the ball back to the keeper. Back it to Muval again. Watford are now closing on nearly half an hour to get this game. This will be a change, and Mivald is leaving the field of play. So Emma Beckett, looks like Emma Beckett's going to drop into defence. So Alicia Stocco down will take it, maybe take it Beckett's role in midfield. So Mivald just unable to continue, but gets to the hour mark. So it's Watford 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. And once again, our live stream today brought to you in association with Marlow Digital. An advantage being played on this occasion for Watford. Now Soko down. Lining for Tugadada just outside and now into the Wolves penalty area. Still for Tugadada on the ball. So we're going to go for this one. Just can't quite squeeze that inside the far post. Good persistence though from the Watford skipper. Now Wolves with another change. And midfielder Orla Conlon about to come on. It's Naira, I believe that's a Naira Edwards. Coming off is indeed Naira Edwards off and Conlon on. But Wolves with the upper hand at the moment on the scoreline. Can they scalp a second Tier 3 side in successive weekends? Watford will be looking to have a major say on that, of course. So with the game obviously being played behind closed doors, we can hear a lot more of what's going on out on the pitch as well, and to a certain degree on the sidelines as well. And thank you again for those of you watching, and of course thank you for your comments as well. There's Colin, first touch for the sub and a loose pass, now finds that for Tugadada, nice little possession there and a little, was that a little nibble from Evans? And for Tugadada, just frustrated there, and it did look like a little nibble, but right in front of the referee, nothing given. And well, and that has been, so maybe far be it for me to question the referees, because without the match officials we haven't got footy, I know, but some of the decisions a little bit mystifying at times. And Dan McNamara, the Wolves boss, pushing the envelope of a technical area right to the byline. See how it's, I think it's literally, see how much you can get away with. I was spoken to in the first half about that, but Watford looking to let their footy do the talking here for Tugadada. It's been closed down by Conlon. That's Palmer. Oh dear, sort of nutmegs and Megan, Charlotte. Megs to Megan. And Francesca Ali is down and is holding her right ankle. And obviously the ref is now just seen this, just attention just been brought to Stacey Felix, so that Watford physio has been very, very busy. Which is Francesca Ali. This doesn't look good, but the Watford midfielder will shake of the head there. Just feeling the right ankle and the shin. Leanne Bell just taking on some liquid on the sidelines, but happy reporter Fran Ali back up on her feet. And it's a nervous look there on the face of manager Clint Lancaster. But Fran Ali looks to be able to be reintroduced into play. Watford temporarily down at 10. And Ali back on to the field of play. Watford now back to restored to a full 11 again. Just inside 25 minutes to go of his third round Women's FA Cup tie. Watford trailing by 2-1. It's Wolves who hit back, 7 minutes after the restart, but here's at Chandler out on the right-hand side, 2 for Tugadada. And cutting in and showing a nice bit of skill there. The cross cut out though. Wolves with a bit of defending to do here now. That's sort of very much a sort of an alley-oop from Megan Chandler. I think no other way of trying to describe it. A bit of a scoop. Watford still in possession. Leanne Bell with a throw on the right-hand side. Bell just a twist there to Chandler. Ball into penalty here, and all the keeper. Garrett safe, but suddenly Rosie Committer came hurtling in out of nowhere. And I don't think Becca Thomas was too aware of that until right at the last moment. And that is where Watford are going to have to start gambling now. Remember, if it's level after 90, it goes to extra time. But at the moment, Watford are trailing. 2-1. It's only a 1-goal deficit. They pulled it back in the first half. Can they do it again for a second time? this afternoon. Of course, Emma Beckett, we're now having to sort of deputise on the makeshift central defender after I think that injury sustained to Amy Vales, who just couldn't continue. So Alicia Stoko-Down is in midfield now for Watford. Beckett is in at the back. Emma Beckett, though, has played in defence before. It's not a total shot. Short play out from the back, and Beckett sends the ball up, and a little touch for Tugadada. There's a bit too much shown on that occasion. Ball's there for Palmer. And gets over the challenge of Chandler, still at Palmer on the ball. And Wolves sort of queuing up here on the right wing. Watford, a bit of stout defending here. Oh, look. Thrown to Wolves. And maybe the visitors been a little bit on the leisurely side with taking this. All spread into midfield now to Evans. Collins calling for it, but that's very much overstruck on that occasion. Dan McNamara, the Wolves bench, and again there's a 1, 2, 3, 4 standing up, and the full match official has got his work cut out there, and a little lack of concentration at the back, and nearly costing Watford. They overcome that one, but again the jitters is starting to come into play a bit. And Watford just need to settle back down. Now Ali on the centre circle for Watford. Back to Beckett. A rather casual pass there. Sort of finds Palmer, but Watford back again now with O'Leary. And Watford just playing now just a little bit. The play now is just a little bit hurried. It's a little bit rushed. There is a sense of urgency. Going into nearly just over 20 minutes to go. But up front, it's just a little disjointed. The committer now into the centre of that front three. O'Leary just drifting out to the left-hand side for Tugadada in a nice bit of space here on this right flank. If Watford can pick her out. Just need to get back on side. And meanwhile, the other end, a strong challenge, and Tammy George, and oh my word, it's a penalty. And we advise Megan Charm, I think, actually, with the challenge. And it's Tammy George who spun around and just break in there. And that's, well, to me, look, well, called me a little bit partisan, but it looked like the player went for the ball there, and maybe got some of it, but a strong challenge. The referee, one happening, it turns out she's given it. Oh, Morford now with a chance to put Wolves 3-1 up here. That's inside 19 minutes to go. Richie Wiggins will have to be big here. Morford begins a run up for the penalty and sends it low under the dive of the keeper, and Wolves sends a second cup upset in successive Sundays. Now extend their lead. Well, 2 goals now. It's 3-1. They lead Watford. And Watford now have got to just focus on the game. And just see, this is why Watford now find themselves 3-1 down to strike. Alan Morfitt ends a run up and sends it low. The keeper gets it the right way and does get a little bit on that ball, but unfortunately not enough. Maybe didn't get down there low enough, quick enough, and get enough behind it. But Watford 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3. And Watford are now in a bit of trouble. Yeah, there's maybe some fresh legs or added impetus needed, and so Nehani is on. So Nehani has been brought on for Watford, does have a bit of height up front, and so made her debut for the first team in the 4th round of the FA Cup. It's Liverpool a few years ago. The thing's just getting a little bit edgy at the back, and Nadi Fatugadada is stayed down from that challenge. A little bit awkwardly, maybe got caught with a foot in there as well. Wolves not wanting to take any prisoners whatsoever. Watford with work to do if they are to at least take this to extra time. But here's Jamila Palmer trying to get past and shrugs off, and that seems to actually put a hand down onto Leanne Bell. The referee doesn't concur with his commentator's view of that one. And just over a quarter of an hour to go. Watford now trailing 3-1. It's a 2-goal chasm they need to overcome. It's not unheard of in football. I've seen over the years teams come back from 3 goals down with about a quarter of an hour to go. It's got to be a grandstand finish though for Watford. Well, they can't afford to concede any more. And here's Palmer on the edge of the area for Wolves, and it's squeezed through, and I've spoken far too soon. Oh, just take me outside and shoot me. Oh no, an utter disaster for Watford. The shot squeezing through the legs and the hands of Chrissy Wiggins. And that Jamila Palmer, who was brought into the starting lineup today. And Wolves have now extended their lead further, 4-1. Maybe in some quarters, Watford seen as the favourites for this game today, courtesy of their position in the Southern Premier Division. But Wolves are were the leaders of the Division 1 Midlands until COVID struck. Here's O'Leary. Can Watford do something here? They're now 4-1 down. And 2 goals in a 3-minute period in the second half. They've definitely caused Watford some problems. Fatugadada. And take this corner. So Roa Weiss has been taking off players. That's why Nehani's on. And so Watford can only find the side netting. So the sky's starting to cloud over again, and very much, unfortunately, seems to be clouding, the clouds forming over Watford's FA Cup ambitions in the Women's FA Cup for this season. But the Wolves, the Wolves subs and the players' entourage, the players definitely making themselves very vocal just to the left of our commentary position. But visitors, with what looks like our nearly insurmountable lead, leading 4 goals to 1. But being urged by their captain Anna Price just to be calm and relax, not lose their heads. And Chandler now, scooting the ball forward now, and Naya Harney. Watford need to be strong in every challenge now, and then some. And there's Francesca Ali. On down to Naya Harney. Nice little bit of skill there. But Wolves have been very quick to press. They've done their homework and tried to close down Watford at every opportunity they can. They are very quick. They're charging down, and the first you know you've got someone coming after you is when you've got suddenly a bright flash of turquoise blue right in your face. And across at the back for Wolves. Plays it back to the keeper. O'Leary. Just loitering around that area, trying to get maybe a second of the day. Of course, it was O'Leary's strike 4 minutes from the interval, but levelled things up with quite some style in the first half, but the second half has not gone Watford's way. In some quarters, and then O'Leary unceremoniously bundled over. By Derby. That's Kelly Derby, the defender. And Watford desperately need a goal, but Leanne Bell outgunned and muscled off a ball, and Tammy George, who slips just inside the penalty area. Now the ball comes off, and Watford's. We've got a defender here. Got a defender corner, I beg your pardon. So just over 10 minutes to go. And this is going to need to be something straight out the books of Lazarus if Watford are to get back in on terms here. 3 goal deficit to make up. It's not all over yet. Again, Wolves with that 3 goal lead. That's a bit of a, shall we say, time management being brought into effect now. The corner finally delivered from the left. And Ali Fatugadada urging the teammates get the ball when it runs loose. I don't think the players are maybe too aware of exactly how little time they have got left. And Stokoe down. Pass now comes out. Here's Leanne Bell on the ball. Oh, Fatugadada. Got 2 targets in the penalty area. There's O'Leary and Harney. But Beck Thomas gets there between them. And this Wolves side don't take anything away from them. They are physical, they do press every chance they can. And if they sense a weakness, they do go for you. And Jade Cross there, going in, and well, she's holding her head. If anything, it's actually ran into the ball. If anything, that looked maybe a little bit innocuous, but far be it for me to be cynical to maybe suggest that that time management coming into play again. But of course, if the referee has deemed it necessary and deemed it fit, that any time it's been eaten up here will just get added on. But with breaks in play now, will disrupt Watford's momentum and their flow. I said this Wolves, I said before, they are very strong, very physical. As Nottingham Forest found out last weekend. And now a double substitution might be made for Watford. And this has got to take Leanne Bell and Katie O'Leary leading the field of play. So Ruby Smith is coming on. So Smith on for O'Leary. And Holt, that's Holly Holt coming on for Leanne Bell. And Jane Cross about to be reintroduced on for Wolves after having treatment. And Watford, well, Pretty Wiggins being urged to get on with it on the descent. It's when you're 4-1 down, it's got to be just urgency, urgency, urgency. Watford now with extra 2 pairs of fresh legs on. First touch here for one of those subs, Holly Holtz. And Megan Chandler, the pass so intercepted. But Chandler scrapping for that ball, wins it off Evans and plays it through the middle. And Stokoe down, being chunning in there as well. So Naya Harney is now the main aerial threat for Watford. Tall, rangy centre forward, but Watford have got to get the ball to her. There's Ali, as we are now into the last 6 minutes of the second half, plus whatever gets added on with those injury stoppages. Watford 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 4. Not the scoreline I think many would have predicted today. There's Jamila Palmer picking out Alicia Miller on the right side of midfield. But Tammy George just a bit too quick out the blocks. And Wiggins goes hurtling after the ball. For Watford to try and build up maybe a final head of steam here. Of course, these two sides have never met before, but Watford, at the time of the now infamous League Curtailment, were top of the Southern Premier Division. Wolves were top of the Division 1 Midlands Division, shall we say. It sounds like there may be another change for Wolves. And Tammy George is about to be taken off and replaced by striker Amy Dickin. And I think Ali Fatugadada, in remonstrating with the referee here, probably about maybe what she might perceive as maybe, let's say, time wasting by Wolves. And when things are going against you, when luck is not on your side, like I said, when luck is not on your side, it doesn't just desert you. It doesn't just give you a dig on there, it takes a cat as well. But at the moment, it looks like it's Wolves who are going to be taking that spot in the 4th round against Blackburn Rovers next weekend. Unless something miraculous can be conjured up right now. The Wolves with a shot slashing across the face of the Watford penalty area. In the last 3.5 minutes, of course, our broadcast, our live stream this afternoon, brought to you in association with Marlow Digital of Kings Langley. And a big thank you to Darren Elliott and the company there for sponsoring the broadcast today. And there's Beckett with a kick. And Watford, the sands of time are running out very rapidly here in Kings Langley. Wolves happy for Watford to have a ball at the back, and they'll just press and just try and force them to play it quickly. On with a flick on header. Can't pick out a teammate, but here's Beckett at the back. Ali in the centre. For Tugadada, brings the ball down the right foot. Nice little touch there just behind Anaya Harney. Harney to Holtz, and again it's a little bit animated out there, and if you are hearing anything a little bit industrial, I think it's just a passion of the FA Cup. It's running over today, and at the moment it's Watford who have been run over by Wolves. 4-1 to the visitors. And there's Charlotte trying to lob a keeper. Oh, just over the crossbar. Eka Thomas here, just a little leap up there. With Charlotte again, just onto the roof of the net, and say in the first half had a chance, and on any other day with a few yards a little bit further back, both of those two efforts would have gone into the back of the net. It looks like it's not to be today for Clint Lancaster's side. Thomas launching the ball over the halfway line. Watford today have come up against a very strong and, shall I say, robust Wolves side. Now a back pass, and that's, of course, where the game all started from in the first half. The under-hit back pass at Jay Cross on the encounter with Chrissy Wiggins. And with the weather clouding, and it is getting decidedly chilly and decidedly, I think, frosty today. And Watford have not really had much of an answer for Jay Cross today. Vastly experienced at striker. Notching up a 14th goal this season today, but again, has put in a lot of groundwork, and there's been a constant pain in the neck to the Watford defence. Thrown's taken. Here's Evans chipping the ball into the penalty area. A little stretch there from Alicia Miller. To no avail. Now into time added on at the end of the second half. There have been a few signs of all the injury stoppages as well. So totally down now to the interpretation of those with referee Stacey Fullix. But it does look like Wolves could have the ball just running through the gloves there of Wiggins. The last thing that Watford will want to see is Wolves going that this afternoon, but there's Fatugadada with a ball into the centre. Taken away from Stoko down. Harney unable to keep that in play. And quiet, and very much a lot of disgruntled faces in Watford shirts out on the pitch this afternoon. And of course, a strong challenge there from Ruby Smith. So no fear, but Watford nearly undoing themselves at the back again, and it's very nearly cafeteria football at the back, to coin a very well-worn cliche. Help yourself time, and it's Watford at times have not done themselves favours. Wolves, purely because of their league placing and tier placing, seen as the underdogs, have come into this game with no fear whatsoever and nothing to lose. And they will face Blackburn Rovers next weekend. That's that wind gusting in again. It's a very ill and cold wind that blows in through the Orbital Fasteners Stadium this afternoon. Watford to get harder. Into third minute of time added on. Morfitt with a throw in. Watford, and again it looked to be maybe a little pull back there, and the referee, yeah, pull on Francesca Ali. A free kick to Watford. Can they finish with a flourish? Maybe just to reduce that deficit a little bit. It is currently a 3-goal chasm they're trying to overturn here. Ali. The second half, Wolves have it's been a bit more physical, and maybe, as I say, you've definitely had, I think, the rub of the green. Obviously a stunning strike from Kelly Darby, put them 2-1 up 7 minutes after the restart. And the game spun in its head with that penalty decision. I think a very strong challenge. I think from Ryan Vise on Tammy George, and did seem to win the ball, but of course the referee, if you're going to dive in, that's what happens, and of course seeds of celebrations here. There's the Wolves subs bench, and the squad who didn't play today all come onto the pitch. It's victory for Wolves, it's defeat for Watford. The prize money cheque for bowing out of this round is going to be seen as very, very scant consolation to Clint Lancaster and his team and his players. But I'd just like to say before we do bow out for this afternoon, I want to say once again a massive thank you for those of you watching in. We're all over today. And a massive thank you again to our broadcast sponsor, Marlow Digital. And a big thank you to all the tech wizards behind the scenes making the live stream possible. Apologies for the technical problems we had earlier. We did have a little snow flurry, and I think the gremlins that came with it just sort of got into the wiring a little bit. So apologies on that, and I hope that hasn't detracted too much from your enjoyment of watching the game on the stream this afternoon. But result-wise, not to be for the Golden Girls. They're bowing out the third round stage, 4-1 down to Wolves, and Wolves scalp their second Tier 3 side in a weekend, and they'll face Championship side Blackburn Rovers next weekend. That's about all we've got time for this Sunday afternoon. Once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support, and always thank you for your comments. So from all of us here at the Orbital Faster Stadium in Kings Langley, from the live stream, and from me, Chris Walker, your commentator, it's a very, very good afternoon to you. Bye-bye for now. Ta-da. Huh?